Hey guys, so we're back for another video, well, the Q&A. Today we're going to be reading out the questions from YouTube, Twitter and Instagram and just see what you guys asked me. And so I've got a list of the questions from Instagram and Twitter, and I've got the YouTube questions in front of me, so that's going to be easy enough. So we're going to start off with the two from Instagram and then the Twitter one. Yeah, then we'll just roll on from there. So for Instagram, Fun Gaming asks, what's the most embarrassing post you've ever put up so far? Hang on, let me check. Yeah, I would have to definitely say, looking back, the first kind of Batman posts I started putting up, because for me, like, compared to the posts I've been recently putting up after doing a photo shoot, it's kind of like you kind of realize the quality has to be kind of better. The standard, like, you gotta put a good standard to yourself and to your cosplay in those cases. But that's grand. And look, I'm doing better now than I was back then. So that's good. Second question comes from Comedy Spider-Man. I'm very sorry if I got your name wrong, dude. What's the next Spidey or Batman planned? I think I actually do have plans. The next Spidey might be another kind of symbiote suit 1 or Spider-Man 2099. So we'll see how that goes. Batman would probably be Batman Beyond or Batman Returns. So that's there. And yeah, that's all the Instagram questions. Now we move on to Twitter. These are all from the Cyber Planner. So if you haven't seen the Cyber Planner before, he does some animations on his own YouTube channel and they are very good. They are actually, he does a lot of ones that they are from a television story, but he uses some of the stuff from like the Doctor Who novelizations, which I think is a very inventive way to kind of, you know, to make something but also use something else to make it more unique. And also he does, it's kind of recreations and reconstructions. He has done his own stories as well. I do recommend checking them out because he has some great stuff on there. Just please check them out. So here we go. First one. When did I become a Doctor Who fan? Oh, I became a Doctor Who fan back in 2010. It was basically January 1st. I saw the ending of The End of Time and I saw the 10th Doctor's regeneration. At the time I had no clue what regeneration was, so him regenerating into Matt Smith seemed very weird to me at the time. My 11-year-old self, yeah, had a very weird experience, but I think I was kind of used to seeing his Doctor, David's Doctor anyway, because I had been watching the Sarah Jane Adventures for a long time. Technically I was a Doctor Who fan before I was actually watching the show, but you know, we can just thank Liz Sladen. Let's just thank Liz Sladen because that's the best thing to do. Second one, favourite character options figure so far? Jesus, so far. It's gonna have to be, see if we can get, didn't want to release it so, you know, soon, but this one, the Remembrance of the Derelicts Supreme from the Renegade faction. I got him last week. Sorry, there's some kids shouting. But yeah, anyway, this is the Supreme. I kind of like him. I like him for the colour scheme, the kind of silver and black and the kind of yellowy dome lights. So pretty inventive. I mean, the eye stalk is all over the place, but yeah, what can you do? I suppose that's what Derelicts, I suppose. Next thing, what do I like the most about the Doctor Who community on YouTube or Twitter? Alright, I'll answer for both. On YouTube, I definitely will say the figure part of the community, like the action figure adventure stuff, is definitely one of the accessible ones. Like cosplay is the same, you know, obviously, but with the figure animation ones you can kind of, you're allowed to be more creative. You can use stuff with the doctors or your own doctor. You can, you know, there's so much creativity there. You're allowed to, I guess that's just from me being in it for so long, but it's a very nice community sometimes, you know, for majority of the time anyway. I'm just really happy to be a part of it, you know, it's very nice. On Twitter, like, it'd be the same, but the cosplay, like, there's a little bit of a cosplay community on there too, and they're very nice. They're, well, majority, but you know, they're very nice people, and they're just, you know, very, you know, open to talking, conversations and stuff. Surprising from Twitter, but yeah, you know, sometimes you just talk to someone for ages and it'll be perfect conversation, no problem. And then, what do I like the least? I definitely say the whole not my doctor stuff, and scalpers who buy figures and then sell them on eBay for ludicrous prices. My god, I went a little bit Tombeka. But yeah, stuff like that, you know, people who just, they don't, you know, feel like they just don't respect the fact of being a Doctor Who fan. I don't know how to describe it, but just being a fan and just enjoying it for themselves, and not, you know, not trying to force what they think about stuff on other people. Maybe just have a nice little conversation, you know, and if you both leave at the end of it, maybe having a bit of thoughts in your head about, oh, well, he made me think, or she made me think, or whatever. That's fine, you know? And all this stuff about Jodie's doctor and whatever, it's like, give over. She's the doctor, guys. Let it go. If you want to watch the show, do. If you don't. There's plenty of other shows out there to watch. Trust me, television and movies have gone far. So if you don't like Doctor Who, there's the door. Well, I mean, you can watch older stuff. I mean, that's good too. So yeah, alright, that's all the questions from Twitter and Insta. And now we're gonna go to YouTube. So now for YouTube. Right, so I've got one which says, from Doctor Who Adventures. Out of all the Doctor Who episodes, what episode would work best as an action figure adventure? Well, I definitely think as an a sort of recreation, I think they're trying to come off as. It's a tough one. Maybe, I don't know about the 5 Doctors. I mean, that'd be a lovely one. The 11th Hour, maybe. I mean, that'd be an interesting one. I guess you'd have to really like look at an episode and decide, is this like which one works for that certain, like for the figures, you know, because practicality has to come into it, you know, along with creativity and ideas and all that stuff. Is it practical? Because you go to college, and I've worked in videography kind of stuff. Practicality is the main thing people will go to. Can we do this as it is? You know, that's pretty much it. What time would you choose as a Doctor offered you a trip in the TARDIS? Probably the 1980s. I like the 1980s, you know, it's from what I've heard, pretty groovy time, you know, chilled out and stuff. I would like to, you know, I mean, if I travel back there, I can do 2 things. Explore the 80s and, you know, meet my granddad or something, have a chat with him or something like that, you know. Very Marty McFly Back to the Future-esque, you know. So yeah, that's all their questions. Thank you very much. Herbie Varsaurus. It's like Toys R Us, but Varsaurus. Sorry about that, man. I didn't mean to insult you. Right, so which is more important right now, COVID or endemic racism? I really, I'm not the person to really answer this question. I mean, I have looked up what endemic racism means, but to answer your question, mate, I'm just going to say both. There we go. If you could invent your own Doctor Who companion, who or what would they be? They would be someone from the 51st century, because Jack keeps mentioning it all the time. And they would be someone who would be a lot more alien. A lot more alien than, say, you know, Rose or I guess Amy, if we're going to put them, you know, 2 of the most well-known new series, I guess. I don't want it to be an Earth person from the 21st century. We need someone who is from the 21st, like the 51st century or something like that. Like, I mean, Jesus, if we had, in the 4th Doctor, if we had Leela, if we had Nyssa for the 5th Doctor, who was from an off, you know, in the future as well. We had Adric, who was from East Space. We had Romana. We had Jamie. Jamie McCrimmon. We had Ace, even though she was from, you know, the 80s, she was on Dragonfire for a long time. We had, if you guys read or listened to the spin-off media, there is so much more creativity going on there. And I think Doctor Who should apply that to itself, you know, to really make it a lot more, you know, differentiated, you know, a different companion. Because for so long we've had 21st century companions, and it's like, we need something new here. We need a different approach to the situation, you know. We don't need someone from present day. We need to go off and explore someone who's outside that whole scope, you know. Do something, you know, do something new. It'd be a lot different. It's something I think Doctor Who should apply for maybe the next era, or maybe Jodie's next series. It'd be just really good, you know. I mean, imagine if Yaz and her went off and found a one of those blue-skinned people, and he or she was just a really fun and creative person that they took on adventures with them or something like that. Or hell, just pop a Cyberman head on somebody and just call that a companion. Why is a mouse when it spins? I mean, if Tom Baker couldn't give the answer to that question, then neither could I. I'm guessing it's still spinning. But thank you for your questions, mate. It's very, very nice. The 11th channel says, what is your creative process to make a Doctor Who episode? How do you choose the Doctor, the monster, the basic story? Well, when I make a story, let's give an example, right? I made the third Doctor story, Lost in Foreign Land. Now, the title came from the fact that the Sea Devil is a foreign creature. You know, well, he's not foreign. He is someone who's coming into foreign lands, which he used to think were his own. You know, the Earth and all this kind of stuff. You know, the Earth is a foreign land to this creature, the Sea Devil. And, you know, he's lost, and obviously he is lost, if we're going to be honest about that. When choosing the Doctor, it just had to be part 3, because his interactions with the Sea Devils and all that stuff and the Silurians, that's very close in his era. I know the 5th Doctor has met him as well, but that story is not really given as much creativity as the other two, you know? You gotta really think about the Doctor you like. Like for me, I was watching a lot of Pertwee FA at the time, which really inspired me to write that story. So I think when you, if you watch a Doctor Who story, get an idea of the Doctor and that Doctor and his whole world, try and see if you can construct a story where that Doctor goes off on an adventure. Like, I mean, I've got ideas in my head for the 7th Doctor, 5th Doctor maybe. They're all over. It's all different types of stuff, and it's interesting if you can just try and apply it to something and see if it sticks. If it don't, well, at least you tried. Do you rewatch certain episodes to prepare for writing? I guess if you're talking about Doctor Who episodes, sometimes I will. I mean, I'm still stuck on Frontier in Space at the moment, but I do think watching certain Doctor Who episodes helps you get an idea for the character of the certain Doctor you're writing for. I mean, with Patrick, you've got to really think about his way he talks, you know, very quick and precise, and the Brigadier and all this stuff, and you know, the way his actions there, you know. I haven't written for Joe or Liz or Sarah yet, but you really have to understand how these characters sounded back then, so that way then when you write for them, they sound similar, and it's like you're watching an episode then. That's why when I wrote for Part 3 and the Brigadier's line, they always had to be very, you know, competitive. Like the Doctor was sort of, you know, he felt like he was better than the Brigadier, but in some ways as well, he was like his equal, you know? They were very equalised kind of things, because at the start of it, the third Doctor feels very on top of things, but then at the end, the Brigadier is like, well, Doctor, you're 3 hours late, or something like that, you know? It's very weird stuff like that, you know? I love that. That's it, really. So, that's all the questions from the Q&A. So, yeah. Thanks for the questions, guys. It really was enjoyable answering all of them. I definitely think my next FA will be something a lot different. You know, if I've released one of them already, then that's fine. If I'm going to be releasing another one, that's fine too. Hopefully some are out by this point. But yeah, I'm just going to keep on making FAs and stuff and reviews and maybe a retrospective of something. So if you guys want to just let me know in the comments what you want to see from me, because that's the kind of stuff that's coming up on the channel. Just let me know what type and I'll do it, because I got nothing else to do with this COVID situation going on. So yeah, this is Type 40 signing off, and I'll see you later.